Hi everyone, it's Liz here. I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on how to make this waterfall flip out. I use this for my Boho journal, and I've been working on the tutorial for you guys. So we will be making this size, which is about 4 by 4, and you can make it any size you want, but I decided to make it this size because it's a little bit easier, I think, to follow the instructions. You will need a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I like to use double-sided because then you get to see a different pattern when you flip up the little tabs. And you will be needing your scoreboard and or your cutting board as well. So I will be showing you the first cut, which is going on the 12 by 12 sheet and cutting a 4-inch strip off of it. You will be doing this 2 more times with your sheet. I won't be showing you that because my table tends to shake, so I've just cut out the 3 strips from the 12 by 12, and now you'll select the piece that you are going to use as your base. So I'm going to pick this one probably, and what I mean by the base is what you're going to be adding the pieces of paper to. So that's the one I selected here, so I'll be using this one for my base pages. And then the 2 strips, you will be cutting 4 inches, 4-inch squares from the remaining 2 strips. So you'll have 6 little sheets that you end up with. Now, again, this is just for this particular tutorial. You can do it any size you want, but I found it easier to show you guys this way. And I'm sure your cutting skills will be a lot better than mine. It's so hard to make these tutorials when you're not leaning over your pages like you normally would when you're sitting at your desk. So anyways, I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've got 3 little 4 by 4 squares here, and I'll just cut the rest and come back to you and show you what's next. I will next be using my scoreboard. So just showing you my 6 pieces here that I cut from the 2 strips, and again they're 4 by 4, and that's the size that you'll need to make this waterfall, flip out, whatever it's called. And the base page is this one. So I would either fold it in half or score it at the 6-inch mark, which I'll be doing here. So you would score it at the 6-inch mark, and then every 1/4 inch for the number of pages or paper pieces that you will be adding to it. Because I have 6 of them, so 6 of the little square strips, I will be scoring 6 score lines. Again, starting at in the center and then going every 1/4 inch, 6 of those. And that's again because I'm using 6 strips of paper. It depends how many you will be using, and that's how many you would score. And again, you will probably do a better job of scoring than I'm doing here. But just make sure that your your score lines are as crisp as you can make them. So I'm just going to show you what they look like. It's just like a little accordions here, and then make sure that you are folding each one and then making sure that you have scored it so that it's a nice straight line. So I'll be doing that on both sides. So I start on one side of the page doing all of them, and then I'll flip it over and do the same for the other side. So now I have all my score lines ready, and what we're doing next is adding the 4 by 4 pieces of paper. So as you can see here, I have really made sure that the score lines are very clear. Maybe I overdid it a tad, but that's fine. For the tutorial purposes, it's going to work well. So now I'm picking the first 4 by 4 little piece of paper, and as you can see here, I'm just going to show you. You will be gluing it to the first fold, almost to the top of the edge. So not all the way at the top, but you leave a tiny little gap at the top because that will make it easier for it to fold up and down, and it won't get stuck. So hopefully you can see that, and I'm going to show you a few of them that I do. Just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about when I say, glue it almost to the top. This is where you use whatever adhesive you like, but I prefer the tacky glue because it helps with moving the papers if you're not getting them straight on, etc. So as you can see here, I'm adding it to the top of the first score line, and almost to the edge, not quite to the edge. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to do this when I'm not sitting right over, and you guys will probably see my head if I lean over it, so that wouldn't be helpful for this tutorial. So moving on to the next score line, I just flipped the piece of paper over. I'm going to my next score line and doing the same thing. I'm adding the glue, I guess, in the center of the middle there of the second fold. And then again, the same thing. I'll be adding the second piece of paper to the second score line, but the top of it, and again, not all the way to the top. It's like leaving a tiny little gap, so when you flip your pages, they don't get stuck together. I think you guys know what I mean by that. So I'll do a couple more, and then I'm going to speed it up a bit to finish it off so you guys can still see how I do this. And hopefully you can clearly see what I'm doing and it makes sense. As always, you guys, questions, comments, please leave them below. And if you guys make some of these, tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you guys create, and maybe you can come up with a different design or something else. I don't know, but I'd love to see what you guys do. So here we go. I've got 3 sheets already down, and then I'll finish off with the other 3. Again, the exact same thing, adding my glue to the center of the next score line area, and then making sure that when I put my piece on top, it doesn't reach all the way to the edge. So I'm just showing you here where I've got the glue, and then again, just almost to the top of the edge. I should have done my nails, you guys. I'm sorry, I've just been crafting and I wanted to get this tutorial in right now that I have some sunlight. Okay, so I'm just going to speed it up a little bit, let you guys finish watching how I do it, and then I'll come back and show you how I do the little tab that flips up, or that helps it flip up. Okay, so we've got all our pieces glued on, and now you see this big piece that's hanging from the bottom. That's going to be sort of like the little mechanism that pushes everything up and down. So what I like to do here is make a little tab, just because it's easier to see it. So as you can see, here is a little tab at the bottom, and then this one I actually cut a piece of the same cardstock and then just added it to the bottom piece of the page. So what I'm going to show you just quickly here is just adding a little tab. I'll just be cutting on, I guess, either side of where I want my tab to be. And then you can still see it when you close your little waterfall fold out here. So again, I'm just showing you, I'll just grab it from here so it's easier to see. So just, make a cut sort of close to the center, because you'll be making sort of a cut on either side. And then both ends here, let me just show you if you can see it. So there's a little end there and another one on that side. So you'll be leaving the center tab attached, and then you'll cut the other 2 pieces off on either side. So you can either fold it up a little bit to give yourself a little score line, or you can just eyeball it. So just for this purposes, I'm just going to quickly eyeball it just to show you guys. But again, it's up to your preference and how you want to cut out a tab. You don't have to do the tab part. You can just leave it totally on, and then it's just an extra large piece at the bottom of your little waterfall. So here you can see it just kind of peeking out at the bottom. You can cut a little bit more off if that bothers you, or leave a little more on if it bothers you. It's up to you. And then you've got the little tab that now shows you how to push this up. So see how you just pull down the sheet and push it back up. That's it, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the tutorial. It made sense. I hope you guys make some of these when you get a chance. As I said before, tag me on Instagram if you make some and you like my tutorial. Leave me a thumbs up if you want to see more tutorials like this or something else. And I really appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.